Good morning. Let's see, it is October 8th on a Saturday morning, 11:08 a.m. Starting a little bit late this morning because I was on a remote support call with a client connected to her computer remotely while she was connected to her office remotely, and she was unable to print on her home printer. Looks like there's a problem with the home printer. We were not successful in solving it. I may be having to go to her home probably this weekend, today or tomorrow. She was my third service call this morning, I think. First one was 7 a.m. on site. Well, let's see if I'm got, if this thing is working. Is this thing on? Let's go open this. Is this thing on? Yep, there it is. I hear me. So there's audio video good, and there's Tony saying AV normal, DVR. You know what? I felt that on my watch. I'm going to try that today, Tony, to see if I can feel your text messages on my watch better than I've been hearing them on the phone. I have not heard from the client, the remote client that I was expecting to be working with during today's session. Let's come back here. I'll go recheck email again. See? Nope. Oh, you know what? I haven't even opened, I haven't even launched Zoom yet. Just busy. That one. Got it. So there might be people waiting there already. Although I didn't notice, I don't think so, because I didn't see emails. I should have gotten emails from them. So nope, they're not there. And I was intending to not have people in Zoom while I was working with my remote client today, and I haven't explained my reasoning behind that. Go take a look at chat. Let's see, I interacted with a lot of chat messages here this morning, and there's that one. And let's see, I responded to Rand's question about the rack server. So we do have more content coming up about the rack server, but probably not today. Topics 2 and 3. When I saw that from Rand, I thought, what? Are those still listed in there? I'd forgotten about that. So let's go back and look at what that was over here. Right? Yeah, 2 and 3. Demonstration of a spinning drive responding faster than NVMe on Big Beast build. Yes, I could demonstrate that today. Then what was his other one? Was it number 3? 2 and 3 on my list sounds interesting. Well, the update for the framework laptop is different than it was when I put that on this list. This is, some of that content is the same that I had 2 weeks ago or last week. But the update on the framework laptop has changed. Previous update was going to be to let you know that, let's see, they had sent me an email saying they were unable to charge my credit card for the final payment. And they gave some possible reasons. Well, that was on my privacy.com. And it turns out that I didn't know my privacy.com had a limit to how much could be charged on one time, because I had selected no limit. There was an option for me to choose no limit. That's what I changed it to that. When I did the $100 deposit, I had the limit set, I don't know, 200. And then after that, when they told me they were ready to charge it, I changed it to unlimited. Turns out there is a limit, and it is less than what the amount that they needed, which was around $1,000, under $100,000. And I didn't know that. Yeah, they had told me some possible reasons, and it looked like what they were saying was their wording was a little ambiguous, but I thought maybe they can't or won't charge to this kind of a card because it's sort of a debit card because it pulls straight from my checking account, but it's supposed to look to the vendor like a credit card. So I thought that's where the problem was. But when I investigated further, I found that I had a notice from privacy.com saying it was exceeding my limit. So I asked them to increase my limit. They said, no, we know you. We're not going to. No, they didn't say that. But they did. They said, no, they need me to do more higher amount purchases because my purchases have all been in the neighborhood of $100 or $200, and I wasn't up. I guess they want to see me do some purchases at $700 or $800 before they'll let me do $900 some odd dollars, which is what was trying to happen. So that's what my update was going to be. That's not my update anymore because yesterday I canceled it. Canceled the framework laptop. We got some people in Zoom here, so I'm going to let you sit on that a little bit. You can speculate why, and I'll go say hello to Zoom. So I'm going to have to do some adjustments here to make Zoom work because I didn't get everything set up right this morning. So I think you're going to see a black screen here for a little bit. Let's do that one, and that one, maybe that one. And then over here, and I hope this is all making sense to you as I'm saying that one, this one. Oh, that's the wrong place to go. I have to go to here. Did that do it? Yeah, this one. Now you're seeing the black. That'll change in a moment. There we go. You know what? I'll just leave it on that for now. I don't have my picture over picture thing. You are seeing everything there. So there's Alex Cheek. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Doug. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I know as far as saying how are me asking you how you are, I kind of know a little bit about how you are because I did.
Right now, I'm kind of in. Since I figure you kind of already know what's going on, I am kind of in a waiting game right now.
Yeah.
From an in-person interview I had yesterday, that went really, really, really well. It was the best one I've had, the best interview out of any interview I've had so far.
Yeah, that sounded really good. I caught part of it last night, and then what we're talking about here is the Ken Stout live show last night, where you were reporting about the interview that you had yesterday. I caught part of it last night in DVR mode, and then the rest of it this morning. So I was actually driving out to a client's office this morning with my other Bluetooth headset, not this one, listening to the video on my cell phone because I wanted to hear the rest of that. So I did get through all of it, but there may be some people here to watching today that don't know about it. So maybe we'll give you a chance to give a little summary. Would you be okay with doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Let me say hello to the others here. Josh, I saw your camera on a moment ago. Your camera's off now. I don't know if you're at your microphone, but hello. And hello to Chris Garrett.
Hey.
How are you today, Chris?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So some of the people watching now already know what's going on, but I don't know what percentage of them know. So why don't we take a little bit shorter version of your story, because I think my remote client is going to be available today. Hello, Josh. And he waves hello. So, Alex, go ahead.
Well,
Tell us
the
what's up.
short version is I had a job interview yesterday with a company that's just barely starting out. They've only been around for like 3 or 4 years, and they've only got a total of 20 employees. they're renting out office space on the top floor of a 10-story building. So on the 10th floor of a building that was built nearly 100 years ago. They basically have no IT infrastructure whatsoever. So if I get hired, other than their internet connection coming in, well, the internet connection coming in is through AT&T, but it is managed and maintained by the actual building, by the people that own the actual building, because they're renting space in the building. So,
Okay.
so other than the internet and their little wireless access point they don't have any infrastructure. So I'm hoping if they hire me, I'll be able to implement something similar to what I had at college.
All right. So I was curious, why maybe you know something that I'm not aware of, but I would not jump to the assumption that they need a server and Active Directory and all of that. Do you already know that they actually do need it or want it or what?
I don't know for 100% fact if they need it or not, but I explained all that to them, that I'd done all that in college, because that's about the closest thing I have to any professional experience, and they seemed like they were really interested in all that. So it is something that I think they would be really interested in pursuing.
All right. So yeah, I hope that
They
works.
mostly
It sounds
have-
really exciting.
They mostly have laptops right now, a couple of desktops, and they have what I'm assuming is a mix of Mac and Apple and Windows computers. Because they asked me if I had any Mac experience.
Yeah. Okay. So there's something to do with agriculture. Is that right?
Yes, they have like farms and wheat and whatever and vegetables and stuff, but their main thing is they help youth and people with like estate planning and figuring out where land goes when people die, getting wills set up, different things for property, so it doesn't just end up. So when somebody passes away, there's still not a deed to some piece of property in somebody else's name that's dead. They're trying to prevent having to go to the courthouse and figure out all of that.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah. So great.
They're
Yeah,
also very biblically, scripturally, faith-based organization. All the people that interviewed me or preachers or pastors in some capacity. So as far as that goes, I'm very involved in my church too. So that's very promising.
Yeah, that makes it a likely fit for the culture. For you all. So let's see, who else is there? Oh, that's Ken Stout in the spacesuit. And is he there to actually say hello? Is he or not? Well, so Josh, are you available to microphone yet? You had your camera on again and then off again, so maybe not. I have been looking at chat here along. Let's see, Ran Israel is asking something here about Win1122H2 question mark. That's not enough of a question. I don't know what you're asking, but yeah, what 22H2 is available now for Windows 11. I don't know. Maybe you're asking what I think of it. No, I don't really have any thoughts about it. It's an update.
Maybe he's asking you if you know if it is available or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Shall I Google that for you?
He says printer issues may be related to 22H2.
Oh,
great guy. No, Ron Israel said that.
Say again?
Ron Israel did say that.
And Israel said that, thinking that the printer issue I was having with my client might be related to Windows 11 22H2. Could be, because her home computer has Windows 11. And she's connecting to her office computer, which is Windows 10. So if her computer recently got this update, could that be causing a problem? It could be.
I got Windows 12. Just don't tell Josh because he'll want it.
All right. And for those who don't know,
Oh, hey,
he
Josh.
is kidding. He is kidding. Oh, Josh is there, huh? All right, so let's go back.
You're muted, Josh.
Yeah, I stepped off camera. I had to go grab a pop.
A pop. All right. So I'm looking back to see what else is going on here in chat. Don't have credit card.
Hi, Josh.
Get the credit card, sell apart, but a cell phone. This is chit chat. Greg, I guess saying hello. Printer issues may be related to 22H2. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Not trying to fix that now. NeoWin on Twitter says there's problems galore on 22H2. He has no. Yeah, well, since my client is connecting remote to a Windows 10, there certainly is the potential there. Got the cup today. Looks good, not broken. Okay, so all caught up there. And I see Ken Stout is there now. And Josh, hello, both of you.
Hello.
Hello, Doug. I'm glad our little ploy of you were on a remote session with a client worked to delay it so I could get home. We got to do that again next week.
That was a clever trick.
That was. I'm glad you thought of that.
I don't think anyone caught on to it.
They didn't. They didn't.
No.
Oop! I wasn't supposed to spill that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess we did. We did. That wasn't very clever, was it? Oh, you just can't count on what is the truth. Yes,
I got
Chris.
my camera turned because it will see the TV in the background. You won't get a stripe for TV show in the background, would you?
It's possible if it's
well. I'm not.
enough.
I'll get it off.
So yeah, let's just not.
I'll get it off the frame. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the subject
of don't come on till later.
My turn. On the subject of providing free remote support to people on these Saturday sessions, I want to really try to market that more, and I was thinking that I really feel like I want to do it is more focused on the client. And so instead of having multiple technicians on Zoom at the same time and the chat room all trying to manage the client and work the client as they choose, I'm going to try working with a client one-on-one with me and the client, and taking the rest of Zoom out of the picture, and the chat room, go ahead and put in your advice along the way, but I'm not going to be checking in with it. So I'm going to treat the support session the way I would treat it. Now, something you know, and this is something you've heard from Harry Holzman, Mike Smith, and myself, is if you get 6 technicians lined up together and let them handle a specific support situation, they will, every one of them, do it a little differently. So that's what I've kind of felt in the past, where the support sessions have taken way much longer than they needed to, because I was trying to let everybody be the technician at the same time. So I'm going to experiment today with me doing the support session one-on-one. And if you have other ways that you would like to do it, that you would have done it, go ahead and put that into chat. And then I'll go catch up on it later, and we'll basically debrief or critique the way I handled it and see how this goes. Because I think it's just been a little bit wearing on some of my clients. So anyway, my client today is Josh Kinder. if Josh is up for it, but I didn't get an email response from him, so I don't know. Josh, are we going to do what you had asked for us to do?
Yeah, but the thermal hard drive that I ordered didn't come yet. So it's in the process of being shipped.
Oh,
We need to make sure that the software that we use to back up the computer is set up properly, because the computer had to be redone, because a while back ago I was a bit of an idiot and I thought I went into the download folder and it wasn't the download folder, and I ended up deleting the C drive with wiped out Windows, which took out all of the stuff that I had previously installed, such as Zoom and everything else that was previously installed. So I had him and Alex come in and set the computer back up because I failed. So I want to make sure that the backup software is set up properly.
all right. So let me give you a visual reaction to that.
Exactly. Exactly.
I have a
All right.
question.
Yeah, Alex.
Josh, why did you have to order another external hard drive? Because you already had two. The one Jeff sent you, and the one you had gotten from Ken.
This one's a lot bigger, so we won't have to clean it out as much, and it's only like $10.
It's wait, it's $10. No. How large of a hard drive is it for $10?
2 terabytes.
There's no possible way that
He got scammed.
no possible way.
Don't plug that drive up, Josh.
It's worth being advertised as.
Carrie showed those kind of drives before, and it's got malware probably.
Question:
Yes, Ken.
Is it coming from eBay or Amazon?
Coming through Amazon. Well, my phone says it's coming from Amazon, but that's not where the fellow who's advertising it.
I find it hard to believe it's coming from Amazon. Really hard to believe.
We've seen scams before through Amazon because third-party sellers, Amazon doesn't control them. There's plenty of documentation, third-party sellers scamming people through Amazon. Now they'll get caught once Amazon becomes convinced that they're not providing legitimate products, and they'll cut them off. But
Josh, do you happen to have the link that you can share or show everyone so some of
Yeah.
us can do some research, please?
Yeah, but that's not the only thing I ordered.
That's fine. We just want the
all
link
right,
to the
let's
hard
have
drive.
a look at let's have a look at the hard drive that you ordered.
Okay.
Ah.
I remember how to do that. It's not letting me share my screen. I was gonna.
Doug, I think you got the screen sharing disabled. on Zoom.
Oh yeah, probably. All right, let's go. I'm going to the security tab and putting a check mark on share screen. So try that now, Josh.
Yeah, we're good.
Josh, are you sharing your iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Sure.
That's not coming over on my Zoom. Let's.
Yeah, I got
let's-
it. It's on Zoom, isn't it? I got it
Yeah,
on
but
Zoom.
it's
It's on
not
Zoom,
coming,
but it's not on
it's-
YouTube.
It's not coming on YouTube.
Oh,
So no. I'm
oh,
gonna
you
turn
have my
that off.
problem.
Yeah, that's why I have that screen sharing disabled, because I don't want to be doing that. So I'm turning that off. Josh, I want you to send me the link for that by email. Can you do that?
Okay. If I can, I've never done that before. I can send you.
If it's an Amazon link, there's a share option in Amazon.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'd be a
You
good
can
practice.
share and then select email. Now I got to go fix my broken Zoom. Don't do that, Doug. Don't do sharing on Zoom. Learned this before. There, that fixes that.
Yeah, I caught on with that. That if it takes longer like that to actually share the actual screen, it's probably because somebody's sharing an iPhone or an iPad or an Android.
Yeah. So I've got this. I got this link up that Dennis sent about the Windows 11 22H2 issues. I'm not going to look through that now, but just acknowledging that link from Dennis here. Take Amazon third party. Got a link. Have you sent that to me yet, Josh?
Yeah, I did. You still got it.
All right. From Amazon, bought an old Zenith TV remote, the Sony PlayStation Media remote. Williams should be a fun, interesting thing to see 5 or 6 people with different viewpoints. But mine is a 2 terabyte drive for $10 is a 99% scam. Well, if it's a 99% scam and it's 2 terabytes, that would mean that you should be able to count on 20 megabytes that's functional, right? Wouldn't that be 1% of 2 terabytes? Oh, did I really?
I don't even know why there would even be such a thing as a drive that only has megabytes of space available.
Of course.
This is not the 1990s anymore. This is 2022.
Well, it looks like what Josh shared with me was the shipping status.
Well, you should still be able to get to the order from the shipping status. You should be able to get to the product page.
Right? Oh, try that. Not that way. Looking at the URL up here to see if I can. No, that's all. That's just the progress tracker that he shared with me. Josh, that's not the actual device. You need to go to the actual listing for that device, for that drive, and share that with me. Share that to me.
Look at that. Hold on.
Now, while you're working on that, Josh, I want to describe, and I'm going to mute you so that you can have your audio thing with your phone. My perception when Josh asked me about this, what he wanted to do is copy the backup files from his current backup drive to the new drive that he's getting, and he was asking if that can be done. So my thought processes of consulting him on this was going to be along the lines of questioning, do we really need to do that? Why not just put the new drive into use? Because in a couple of weeks, you're going to have your backups on there. Do we really need the older backups to be transferred to there? Now, maybe the answer to that is yes. If he wants several months from now to be able to restore from that old backup, then yeah, okay, that would be a reason to do it. So I want to talk through, why do we want to do this, to be sure that we do want to do it. And then to do the transfer from an old drive to a new drive, old backup drive to a new backup drive, I'm assuming that these are both external drives in external drive enclosures. Depending upon how much data we're talking about, it could be worth the time to disassemble the external drives and connect them to a computer internally, because that copy process is going to go quicker. Now, I don't want you interrupting me on every step through this, okay? Are you just trying to correct me on that one point?
No, I'm not. I was just
All
gonna
right.
say he's at Advanced House, and if we remember, she's got that Intel NUC like computer, so it wouldn't be possible to connect.
Okay. So that is specific to Josh. I'm talking about a broader, higher level dealing with this conversation with a client. Okay. So let me stay on that level. We won't be specific on Josh right now. So in talking with a client who's asking for this, why do we want to do that? And if the answer is yes, we do want to do that, then is there a faster way of doing it that we would want to look into? Or are we okay with a slow method? A slow method of connecting to the USB ports, then you're going to consider, is it USB 3 or USB 2? Or do we actually have a lightning port involved that are available that we can do a faster copy operation? So my thoughts were going along those lines. Now, then another piece of it is, since we're trying to copy or move backup files from one to another, then we might have a concern about the locking capability that a licensed version of Macrium Reflect does. But I don't think he's using a licensed version. I think it's the free version. We should be able to copy from one drive to another. I see that, Josh. Hang on a second. I'm going to finish through this, my thinking about discussing this topic with a client. And then a next thing to consider was how to do the copy operation. Are you just going to do File Explorer in Windows and drag across? Is it going to be multiple files at a time? Or are you going to do them one file at a time? So one technique I've used for this in the past is to use a backup software called Handy Backup. I use it in certain situations. I don't use it across all situations, but something I like about it is that it will copy just the file structure exactly as it is, leave the files intact as they are. And the reason why I like doing that instead of just dragging from one File Explorer window to another is that if the copy operation fails partway through, having a backup job in Handy Backup will allow you to resume the process. It's more fault tolerant. Whereas if you just drag the files across from one File Explorer window to another and something goes wrong, you got to start all over again. And the copy operation is going to start from the beginning. Then prior to, well, back in Windows 95 days and prior, I would use Xcopy at a DOS level to copy files across because it did it more efficiently. So the point I want to get across when you're asked a question like this from a client, consider, why are we doing this? How should we do it? What are the various methods of doing it? So I kind of want to get that out on the table. Now I saw that Josh gave me a thumbs up indicating that it's done. So I'm going to go look at my email, see if I got another email from him. And yes, I did. So let's see if this gets us. Order details I'm seeing. It's a PNG. It's a picture, not a link. And okay, all right. I think we could probably figure it out from this. Now I'm looking at this first to see if there's anything private on here I don't want to expose. All right, so here we go. So here he sent me a screenshot from his phone showing order total 0. Here's a $10.88 eFolio external hard drive, 2 terabyte, large capacity, ultra slim. So let's go just do an Amazon search for that. Bring up a fresh tab here, go to Amazon, and then I'm going to, let's see, bring up on screen this way. So then I'll do a Windows key right arrow, let go of the Windows key, and it didn't give me that as an option for the left side. So I'll just drag it over. And then do a search. EIOFLIA.
Did that work?
Say again?
Did you get the email I sent you?
Yeah, but it wasn't a link. It's just a picture, a screenshot. So I'm using that to search for the item in Amazon. Okay, I'll do that much. I'll Control A to select that whole line, press Enter to go to that, and see if we've got it. I'm not seeing precisely that name. There I did a Windows key right arrow and it worked correctly. EIOFLI. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Is it possible that Amazon already detected that was a scam and deleted the already?
Exactly what I was thinking. It says sold by Bling Lin. So how about searching for that seller? Bling Lin.
Does it show, does his tracking details show who it was shipped by? Because it's also possible, I think it's also possible that Amazon could have stopped the shipping. Maybe if it was shipped by Amazon themselves.
Yeah. Let's see, how do we find a specific seller, Bling Lin? To see if they are even a seller on Amazon anymore.
Possible I may not even be getting it.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get it. All right, catching up on chat. Yep, several scans on Amazon. There's an agreement about that. William, I've been burned in the past by not thinking about deal before buying. I think almost everyone has done it sometime. And a big thing is read the reviews. Find a lot of problems with the seller showing up in the reviews.
If I see a similar product that has like over 1,000 reviews and one that's pretty much the same, but it's cheaper, that only has like 500, say for example, I'll go with the one that has the more reviews. Just about every time.
It looks like we found it. I shouldn't say we, it looks like Wintermute found it. So here, $11.28. It's gone up in price since Josh bought it. EI Folia, external hard drive, 2 terabyte, large capacity, ultra slim, portable, hard, shockproof, anti-drop drive. This looks like nothing bigger than a USB thumb drive. 2,000 gigabytes, USB 3.1. Brand is EI Folia. EI Flia. iFlia. I think iFlia is a reasonable pronunciation.
And
About this item. Go ahead.
So I was just going to say it, and no reviews.
See, search in reviews. What do you want to know? No customer reviews. Totally scary. Although for that price, yeah, you know, how frightened can you be? But yeah, I don't think you're going to get it, Josh. Or if you get it, now there are techniques that they can use to make a drive report 2 terabytes, but when you actually try using it, it just won't hold much at all. I've seen documentation about that. So you might get a thumb drive that you plug it in and it claims to be somewhere above 1.5 terabytes, but once you try actually copying files to it, it just either won't work or won't hold very much. So yeah, that's not going to be a.
If it
Now you
works,
said.
well,
Say again.
if it works, it's probably, my suspicions is it's going to only be a 1 or 2 gig flash drive, maybe a 4 gig if he's lucky.
Yeah, it might be reporting itself as 2 terabytes. Now, Josh, you said that's larger than the current backup drives you have, correct? How big do you have currently?
It's the 1 terabyte.
You have a 1 terabyte. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here at the house. Yeah.
And what's the size of the backup files for your aunt's computer?
I have no idea.
Oh, really? All right.
Oh,
So if you have no idea,
I say
hang on.
less than 100 gigs.
All right. Let me keep this line of conversation with my client here. Why did you think that you need a larger drive if you didn't even check to see how large those files are?
I'm trying to keep everything the same the way I have it set up at my house.
Oh, so you have one of these EI Folio drives at your house?
I have a 2 terabyte thermal drive. Yeah.
You have a 2 terabyte external drive. Oh, okay. So you were trying to have a 2 terabyte drive at your aunt's house, and you thought you stumbled across just a fantastic deal here.
Trying to keep everything the same.
All right. I can see the reasoning there. But this was not, I don't think this was a good choice for it. And I can see your reasoning, Josh, but I'm not sure that it is worthy of pursuing. If it was going to cost you, say, $150 for a legitimate 2 terabyte external drive, is that amount of money worth it for your backup, for keeping things the same between your home and hers? I think that's going a little extreme, but why don't we find out how large your backups are for her computer? That's something I'd like to find out.
Okay.
So I can connect remotely to you, and we can get that on video. So we're actually doing a remote support session here, and alternatively,
and I also did order the same exact monitor that I had from my house, but I don't know if that would fit either because it's already been used.
Okay, but on the subject of keeping things the same between your home and your aunt's house, you're not ordering the same model backup drive.
Right.
If you're really going to pursue keeping things the same, then that would be a reasonable thing to do as well. Okay, so I gotta look up the connection information, because I think somewhere back in history, Alex provided me your credentials for your aunt's computer. And
well, I usually log into LiveWindowsTraining.
oh, okay, yeah, you can start the connection from your side. So I think you have an icon on the desktop called DougBetts Remote.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, so go ahead and launch that. I don't see that appearing yet. While you're doing that, I'll say hello to Gary. Hello, Gary.
Hello, sir.
Welcome.
I put in chat a USB 128 gig for $14. So, yeah, you're not going to get two terabyte.
Yeah, not,
and that
from, not
I usually,
a legitimate device.
I mean, we, my wife and I were kids and grandkids, hardcore Amazoners, food, pop, but usually we wanted ship from Amazon because it's a lot easier to deal with than They're a lot, when you're getting it from usually a third world country, when it takes a month, and God knows what you actually get.
Yeah. So here's your 128 gig flash drive. Now that's not big enough for Josh doing his external backups. Were you
No,
just
but I mean,
showing us?
that is bought and sold by Amazon, or sold and shipped by Amazon.
Oh, okay. And so your point is buying from Amazon rather than a third party seller on Amazon?
Yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
at least if they should ship you something that's semi-real.
Yeah.
So,
I have never been burned by Amazon themselves shipping something from there. But one thing,
Okay.
I have had friends and relatives that have had problems. Not to knock Amazon, but what you need to do if you ever have something like that is make doggone sure you don't tell them you didn't get what you got something, because they can prove that. Amazon, as we all know, takes pictures of everything they drop at your steps or your gate or whatever. I've had friends who said, I told them I didn't get it. No, you got the wrong thing. You got something. Because what they're going to do is they're going to show you the picture and say, nope, you got it in the conversation.
Yeah. And by comparison, eBay doesn't work out the same way as I think it was Chris Garrett. No, it was, who was it that had something recently? They got books instead of
John.
What I didn't hear, I don't know what you're talking about, but make sure all of them you complain, you got something, just not what you ordered.
I understand that. My point is that works with Amazon and it does not work with eBay. And the guys
I've actually had to work with eBay in the past with me.
Okay, but the guys reported, I think just in last night's videos, somebody had ordered a computer and they received books and eBay refused to make that right. Who was that?
John Gallagher.
But did they actually tell them they got books, or they did not get what they ordered?
The way I understand
didn't get what they ordered.
Didn't get what he ordered.
Because you want to make darn sure they know that you got something, just not what you ordered. In other words, you got fraud, not nothing.
Understood.
Yeah, and then go to your credit card company.
The thing about the one Gary showed, the SanDisk 128, just remember those are very small drives. They're very easy to get lost. I'll just let Josh know.
That was a thought on my mind too.
Well, actually, though, the one that, if it was real, the 2 terabyte one, that's still the size of a good pen. A little bit thicker, but about 1 inch or 22 millimeters by 80 millimeters. So it's not real big.
Yeah. All right, we're connected to Josh's computer here. I'm gonna drag this down.
I'm gonna buy one of those drives just to see what I get.
At $12, yeah, it's not all that.
And then I'm gonna make a video on it telling people not to buy it.
Yeah. All right, let's go see, where is your backup drive? So your current backup drive is this Elements drive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we see some images, and I'm seeing file sizes. Largest one I'm seeing here is, 192. But that looks like it's probably your computer rather than your aunt's computer.
Western Digital is Elements, I think, sir.
Elements is a Western Digital model, I think. Yeah.
External, yeah.
All right. So here we recognize these with MRIMG. So that's Macrium Reflect Image Backup. And if I sort them in date order to see the most recent one, October 7th, called My Backup. Oh, that's just the backup definition. This is an actual backup file at 57 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, 32. And this one down here, Josh, from May of 2022, is that maybe your computer at home rather than your aunt's computer?
Yeah, I think that's my computer.
It makes sense. So now how much free space do we have? So I'll right click on the D drive and choose properties. For those who didn't realize, this is a Windows 11 computer we're looking at. I've got 402 gigabytes free space. Almost half of the space is free, but if we delete this backup of Josh's computer, then that frees up almost another 200 gigabytes. You have, Josh,
Sorry
you
about
have,
that. Sorry about that, Doug.
okay. Josh, you have a backup drive of your own at your home, right?
With that?
You have a backup drive of your own at your home, right?
Yeah.
So is there any reason why we need this
No, I don't.
backup of your computer?
I don't
All
think.
right. All right. If this backup was made with a licensed version of Macrium Reflect, we would not be able to delete it. But I think it was probably done with the free version, so we'll try deleting that. But the file is too big to recycle. Do we want to permanently delete it? Answering yes. Do you agree, Josh?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's see how much space we have. Properties. So we've got 585 gigabytes free, and we actually have 4 or 5 backups, 5 full backups there. I don't see a reason to buy a larger backup drive for her, just on the theory of making it the same as yours, because if you're saying you want to keep things the same on both places, well, she doesn't have your computer. She doesn't have all your stuff on it.
Right.
So is that really needed?
Hey, Doug.
Yes, Gary.
A quick interjection. If you were imaging, or excuse me, cloning, it'd be cool to be the same, but imaging, who cares? It's just drive space.
Yeah,
I mean, great
I don't
image.
see a reason under these circumstances to be keeping the same capacity of backup drives in each place. It doesn't make sense for his aunt's computer to have one that's as large as what he uses on his computer.
So how do I know if I set up Macrium Reflect right to do the backup automatically at the end of the month?
Oh, all right. Well, let's go look at how it's set up here. There's something we can do. Close this down. I'm going to hit the Windows key and then type REFL. That should be enough to get me to search result for Macrium Reflect right there. Launch it. Answer yes to user account control.
Because I followed Alex's video, but I want to make sure I did it right.
All right, good. So here we're on the Create Backups tab. We'll go look at definition files. There's 2 definitions in here. One's indicating C drive and the other's indicating D drive. That's interesting.
Well, the D drive is the one that I did.
Yeah, the D drive is the backup drive. We don't need to back up the backup drive.
Right, that's probably what I meant about.
Yeah, so this one right here is a definition file is stored there. These are actually just showing us where the definition files are stored. This is not what we're backing up. So that's okay. But these are 2 different backup definition files. Let's come up here to scheduled backups and see what's actually scheduled. Make this column wider so we can see what it is. So here we're seeing this is the backup definition file that's actually stored on the backup drive, which I kind of like doing that. I often put the backup definition file on the backup drive itself, unless I'm swapping backup drives. If I'm swapping backup drives, I don't want to do that, because when I swap out a drive, well, now Macrium Reflect doesn't have that definition file. So the reason for keeping the definition file on the drive that you're backing up is so that it's always there, even if you're swapping drives. So these are both full backups. So in terms of, did you do it right? I'm going to say, nah, it's not quite right, because you've got two different definition files, both backing up on the last Sunday of every month. So it's doing two backups. Now let's go look and see what those definitions are actually doing. Start with one that's on the D drive, right click and choose Edit. So we see these check marks here indicating that it's backing up all the partitions that are on an NVMe SSD, and then this Elements drive is not selected, so we're not backing it up. The location to back up to is the D drive, and the file is going to have an image ID number, and that all looks normal and as should be. Let's look at advanced options and take a look at auto verify is selected. So that one looked fine. This one, it's got the right selections there, the D drive, and it's going to be going to the same location. So have we been getting duplicate backups? I didn't notice that previously. The
Yeah,
last,
I don't want to duplicate.
yeah, the last Sunday of each month, it said. So I'm going to bring up the calendar. The last Sunday of September was the 25th. Yeah, there's a September 25th. We're only seeing one there. And August 28th, July 31st. Looks like we're getting one backup each month. Here we go. Here's the answer. This one that's stored on the D drive down here at the bottom, it says at 2 a.m. on the last Sunday of every month starting October 29th. So this one has never run yet. The one that's stored on the D drive. And I'm inclined that that's the one we should delete. Do you understand that, Josh? Do you agree?
Yeah.
All right. And we'll go ahead and delete this backup job. Other than that, it looks like you're good.
Okay.
I'm going to leave the connection open and go say hello to Sam Lazar. Hello, Sam.
Hello, good morning. How you guys going?
Good morning. We're good. Let's see. You're in Australia, right?
Correct. It's Sunday at 6:06 a.m.
6:06 a.m. on Sunday. You got the jump on all of us. You are in the
Yep.
future.
Technically,
Right.
yes.
How's the stock market going to do for me in the next 12 hours?
Have
You're
no
from the
idea.
future. All right, whatever.
Thanks to computers, you can still trade now, though.
Right. Taking a quick scan through chat. I only keep one backup done every Sunday, then I copy my D drive. Now, okay, so I got something else I'm going to ask Josh about here in a minute. Allow for disk cleanup, properties, can't do backups on hard drives not over 7 years old. Let's see, what was that? I can't do backups and don't have a hard drive that is not over 7 years old. New drives for me are kind of spendy. Okay, can't do backups. I don't know why that would be. You can use a drive that's over 7 years old. I don't have any problem with that. Let's see, chit chat. Let me catch up here and I'll come back to you, Josh. I'm just scanning through this, not reading everything out loud. Okay, caught up there. Go ahead, Josh.
Is there any way I can get my money back, or is it too late?
On that 2 terabyte drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and bring up your Amazon account on your aunt's computer. Let's explore into that.
You probably already have a credit if they didn't ship it.
Maybe, but I'm thinking, can we just cancel the order?
I can't be my mom at all.
I have had them cancel orders on me when they're out of stock unexpectedly, and it just
Yeah.
goes back in my account.
Yeah, I've
That's
seen
my
that.
credit card.
I've seen
Hey,
that too.
Doug,
Yes.
I see on this, I put it in my cart. I haven't ordered it yet, but I put it in my cart, and the delivery is like, hold on a minute, let me see. Where's my cart? The delivery is like late October to November
It's coming from overseas.
22nd. So it's probably going to take a while for Alex to get that.
You mean for Josh to get that?
Yeah, Josh to get that.
Yeah. That probably gives the scammer more time to make more sales before they're discovered.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, that's not the only thing I've ordered. I ordered a monitor too, which I don't know if I'm gonna get.
Well, was it from that same company?
No.
Okay, so that may be completely irrelevant. Okay, can I poke around in there now, Josh?
Yeah, go.
Bring
Okay,
that up.
I'm sorry. It says delivery is Monday, October 31st through Tuesday, November the 22nd.
That's a pretty big window.
To interrupt,
right.
again, that's coming from overseas. Literally, even if it's legit, I have bought things and it does come from slow boat from China, and it'll come in a package,
Yeah.
and your inserts will all be Chinese, like newspaper packing materials. It's kind of cool.
Okay, so that's a buy again. We're going to go to orders, not buy again. So here it says arriving, problem with order, return items, lead seller review. Let's see, track package, problem with order, leave seller review. Right. Okay, it says arriving October 24th. Oh, so it's weeks away yet. October 24th through November 15th. Yeah. So problem with order. Let's try that. Package didn't arrive, damaged, no longer needed, other issue. How about what went wrong? I didn't see anything on the previous screen for canceling the order. Am I missing something? Return or replace, track package. Looking into the item, it says last purchase, view order. Nothing in here for canceling it.
Did that pull
I
up?
was thinking about canceling. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go through it, but
All right.
I think you should get the 8 terabyte. It's only $5 more, $6 more.
Let's see, order details, shipping or address, problem with order, track package, return items. Is that even clickable? Yeah, I did click on it. Items you're returning. Choose a response. No longer needed.
Doug, let me interrupt real quick. You're
Yeah.
showing Josh's address. You might not want to do that.
Oh,
On the ship to address at the top left.
yeah. All right, thank you. Let's see, track package, problem with it. I don't see anything there for canceling it.
no, I don't.
What you could do is the problem with order or the return items, and that would be the only way that I'm seeing here. This one no longer needed.
Okay.
And let's see, that doesn't show an address. It shows a city and a zip.
I mean, I'll just leave it alone for now.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna fall apart. Worst case scenario, you wind up getting something and you and you aren't able to return it or cancel it. And certainly it wasn't an Amazon Prime, right?
No.
Yeah. So that's far enough there.
The one that you're showing now for the 8 terabyte actually has reviews on it.
What do you want for dinner?
The one I'm showing?
You
Yeah.
want pizza?
Or, excuse me. If you go to the 8 terabyte that you looked up.
You want taco pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll order that then.
Okay, I muted Josh. What?
Okay.
Where's the 8 terabyte you're talking about?
Here, right here. Take a quick look. I just posted it in YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Can she send a taco pizza to Georgia?
I have a dog named Tommy. He's deaf, dumb, and blind. He's 15 today.
Nice.
He got Dairy Queen for his birthday.
Hmm.
This is actually serious.
No, okay, ice cream, right.
Oh, okay. I see your here. You got. Is this the same one that Winterme put in?
I think so, but if you take a look, there's the reviews at the bottom.
All right.
Yeah.
They open it up and it's at a 128 gig.
Yeah, and they're it's a different brand name and a different seller. And this seller apparently didn't turn off reviews. Not as
Oh
advertised. I knew
dear,
this
it
was
looks shocking.
yeah. Knew this was too good to be true. Tried filling up this device, stopped filling after 88 gigabytes. It's not an M.2. Well, who thought it was going to be an M.2?
They messed with the firmware to make it look like
make
2
it look.
terabyte.
Yeah, make it report a larger size.
Mm.
The images are photoshopped. On image 2, you can see this 8 terabyte. The cable and the drive seem to overlap a bit. That's somebody went into looking into this deeper.
No,
Yeah.
wow.
Take, don't buy. What else do they say here?
Look at their name.
See part of the coloring of the drive on the cable. Similar to the other end. I'm going to take a quick look at that. Don't immediately see what they're referring to. Oh, maybe it's in one of the other pictures. While this is possible, your average person will not install Windows on an overly priced notebook with subpar specs. Thirdly, at the time of this writing, the price tag is $16. Sounds too good to be true. 2 terabyte drive is give or take 50 from a reputable company. No way this drive has a spinning disk? No.
I'm not. In that size.
That's a little over expecting a little much. 5 ships M.2 inside of said drive. Firstly, if it's an M.2, the cheapest 1 terabyte costs about 50. Yada yada yada.
That's a Gen 3. I've actually seen those.
We all would have recognized this as a scam or as a hoax. Now, let me speculate one possible way that you could order something like this for around this price range, $10 to $20, and you actually do get something that is legitimately 2 terabytes. How would that be possible? I'm saying it's because it's got something on it that's going to enable the scammer to steal from you. Malware. They could come up with a way to do that. Is it inconceivable that a criminal would sell on Amazon a device that will actually provide 2 terabytes of storage for under $20 if it gives them full access to your computer and everything that's on it?
So if you did that, if you took your computer, if you unplugged your internet plug the drive in and formatted it real quick, and then maybe ran a malware scan. You think you'd be safe then?
I honestly, I would scan it with Malwarebytes, and I would scan it with emergency kit.
I'm talking about what Doug just said.
Here's the thing that scares me, and I don't know enough to be saying that this is legitimate, but when you plug in any USB device to a computer, there's a communication that occurs between the device and the computer, that the device is informing the computer what it is. It must have some kind of BIOS type of chip on it that is informing the computer what it is, because we can plug in all kinds of different devices that are not drives, and the computer recognizes what they are. What is the programming code on the device that communicates to that computer? And can that programming code be structured in such a way that installs malware on the computer? And if the answer is yes, then that type of thing is going to be impervious to reformatting the device. Because when you plug it in, that communication exchange that happens between them has to happen before the actual drive content, or the mouse, or the keyboard, or the printer, or the scanner, or the whatever other device that you might be connecting. How does that happen?
I'm not gonna buy it. I changed my mind. I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, and actually that's kind of a scary thing regarding devices that you buy at legitimate prices, especially from a non-major manufacturer. Now that hasn't been, I'm not aware that type of invasion to computers has been documented yet, but it seems to me like that is plausible. But there's a lot of potential vulnerabilities with these electronic devices we use. When it does start happening, you'll probably hear about it before you'll experience it. So that's the way I think that we're okay to continue what we're doing, because of all of the white hat hackers out there, all of the penetration testers, all of the highly skilled IT research people out there. They're looking at these devices. They're looking to see what happens to a computer when you plug in a particular device. You know, they're looking at the ways that we've investigated, like with Process Monitor, Process Explorer, and looking at changes to the registry on a computer. When you plug a device in, if somebody, especially if a manufacturer starts putting out something like that, I think it's going to get caught. And there have been stories of that in the past. There was, and Gary, you might be, and Wintermute, probably some others of you will remember this too, is there was back in the days of CDs and DVDs, a major manufacturer was putting out code on their devices that would actually alter your computer in such a way that would prevent you from being able to copy those CDs or DVDs.
That was actually Sony that did that.
Sony, there you go. Thank you. It was a big name. I knew it was a big name. Sony did that, and they got really put in trouble for that, because they're actually putting code on your computer without your permission and without informing you. It was for them to protect their copyrighted stuff, but it was not considered okay for them to do that. So, yeah, and they got caught.
Chris Garrett has a question to you, Doug, but I'm going to answer it for you. I was looking at getting a Hero action camera for some projects we're doing, or I'm doing with some cows, believe it or not. But anyway, they actually send you code to adjust their firmware if you need to. And they explain how you can put the code into their firmware if you get a developer kit from them.
All right.
For a camera that can plug into your USB port. So I'm assuming with a USB drive, you can also get firmware from the developer of, Synex or Western Digital or whoever. It will tell you how to actually do what you don't want to do.
Yeah, and how about the potential of a criminal doing that and then selling that device on Amazon or eBay or whatever?
I mean, going to the other side of that for the average user, I mean, ain't much you're gonna get on my computer that'd be worth you spending the money, but
Yeah, that's a point. For the criminal to do that for a non-targeted consumer, that would make a sense. But for a criminal to do that when they know that they can get that device in the hands of the person who is their target,
they could get
and
if they could get to the proverbial president, the Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Is it possible? Yes.
Yeah.
What would they do with yours and mine? Okay, fine. Here, I'll call it to you and give it to you myself.
Yeah. But then the companies that you have worked for, Gary, I'm sure have some controls over what devices and what manufacturers and vendors you can bring equipment into the office.
Correct. 100% correct. I mean, you're not, let's put it this way. Every place that I have worked in the last 30 years, firewall offense to bring a USB stick in that's not from the company.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason you do it. I mean, obviously it doesn't happen daily, but I mean, it's one of those, got to put in the manual.
Okay, I'm looking at this comment from William. Clicking no longer needed will cancel the order before it is shipped. I'm not quite understanding that. Clicking no longer needed will cancel the order before it is shipped. So maybe
I think I think he's suggesting if they decide not to ship the order, possibly.
Yeah, it's
already been shipped by then. It left the warehouse.
Well, yeah, you sent me a picture along those lines, didn't you? I'm gonna see if I can bring that up again. What you said. Now, who's reporting that it has left the warehouse? And it's gonna take like almost a month.
That
might be all right. That might be believable. Track of delivery.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. Does this page? No, this page doesn't. So here's the first link that Josh sent. It says it was ordered and it says it was shipped, but it's just barely off the ship. Tracking info provided by Blinglin. So this is what we're saying is the scammer is reporting that they've shipped it. How reliable is that piece of information? Not very, in my mind.
Why does that say deliver to Doug, Fresno?
I think he went into it as an order, but not to change it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's interesting that it showed that, but Josh sent me the link, shared the link to me of his shipping. I don't know why it says that.
When you went back to the raw part, it picked you up as your click, not his order. It does that.
I'm on my Amazon account. When I opened the link that Josh sent me, it's in my Amazon account, and I think this is just my current default shipping destination. I don't think it's really related to what we're looking in the body of this page.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on there. So coming back here, BH Ringer, might be good to mention brushing scams. Okay, let's see what he's got there for us. Brushing scams. Here's why you're getting random packages. Surprise receipt packages they never ordered. This source is a scam called brushing. Here's why you're getting free loot. All right, if people want to read through that, you can go. I'll probably read through it later, but I'm not familiar with the term. You can get infected from plugging in USB. Yeah, Chris, I'm concerned might have malware, firmware. Yeah, Sony rootkit. Yeah, that was referred to as a rootkit with Sony. And I think it was actually, yeah, because it was making a modification to computers that you could not detect with normal methods of detection.
I think Dell had a problem with that too a while back.
Could be. BDC Doug, I think most devices have make a golden handshake with your computer. I think, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not familiar with the term golden handshake, but I think what the idea is you're getting across. Yeah, there's some kind of handshake going on that somehow coded into what's comparable to a BIOS of the device. I don't know if they even call it BIOS on the devices. This one here is probably that Sony incident. Copy protection rootkit scandal, sure enough. So that's where you can go read up more about that if you care to. Arnold, why not contact Amazon and tell them to cancel the order? Right. Contact them through it's probably an online method of contacting them. That's a good suggestion. Josh, are you interested in pursuing that, or do you just want to let it see how it plays out?
I want to see how it plays out.
All right, we'll let it go with that.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Contacting a human being at Amazon, you'd have better luck getting Jeff Bezos' personal cell phone number.
Yeah, but I think they do have a way through their system to do, support
good luck. I
request
have
kind
tried.
of thing. Yeah.
I'll find a way to get rid of it if I have to.
I don't know.
Sell
If it
to
were
somebody
me,
else.
for me, I'd let it ride. But Josh will make his choice. Having a tracking number doesn't mean it was shipped. My last order online said that, and it was actually shipped 2 weeks later. Yeah. Free loot. I thought loot was money. Oh, okay. That package was. I wouldn't. I think loot can be stuff. Yeah, I can understand why you would associate that with money, though. Bling Ling is in China. Sounds likely. Arnold Albert, online chat. Yeah, I think Amazon has an online chat capability.
I've tried online chat, and I would bet that it's not a person, honestly.
Yeah, and they definitely start out with an automated thing. I've seen that lots of times where they say, contact us, you click contact us, you can't get a phone number. You wind up typing in Doug winds up typing in a paragraph and editing it, formulating it, and then press enter, and then realize it was just an AI responding with a number of other it thinks is search results. Do any of these answer your question? No, it doesn't. Click onto something else. Please make sure you've looked through all of our stuff before you. No, try to click on beyond that. It can be a nightmare. Wintermute says, "Do you mean a golden parachute?"
Yes.
Well, golden parachute is a retirement thing, isn't it? Or
buyout. How's the buyout?
Buyout, or even being fired and given a golden parachute, meaning to take the sting out of it.
I was going to get on earlier. Well, not earlier. I didn't get home until about 1:30ish. On my time, which is 11:30 your time. Anyway, I heard Alex talking about his interview, or just at the very, very end of it. Anyway, my son is they're looking for him. He's been interviewing someplace in Reno for some kind of logistics, trucking, shipping, warehousing, whatever, multi-gazillion. Anyway, he has been through almost 8 interviews, 3 physicals, and he's just now getting to the offer going to the attorney stage. It's been 2 months.
He's getting offered to go to the attorney stage?
No, he's getting an offer when the offers go to the attorneys and whatnot, because they need to see his current. He has been working for the same company for 20 years, but he's an employee, but they give you a 3-year contract. You can't, can you quit without go to work to a competitor and get a, all that kind of stuff. And they need to see his contract before they make a final offer. He had a physical that lasted 3 days.
Yeah.
They checked him for every disease known to man and woman.
Wow.
Met with investors.
I'm assuming it's kind of a high-level job.
Yeah.
To go through all of that. Yeah. All right. Well, best wishes to him. Blingland sounds like an affiliate of something.
I like Mr. Rand.
Oh, there's a really funny thing that was put out on a. Oh, it went out on Real News just when you say that. Something. That airplane crash in San Francisco. Chinese pilots. There was a news media that actually picked up a joke of radio transmissions between what was claimed to be the pilots and air traffic control, and it was using those kinds of. I'm not going to try to search it up. It's a little bit unkind, probably. Something went wrong. All kinds of different, Oriental sounding names, but they're actually words. It was hilarious. Actually, a family member of mine has a similar experience. Rand. All right. Let's see, there was something else that I was saying that I wanted to cover about Josh's. Oh, yes, regarding the backups. Okay. Josh, can I come back to your computer and bring up Macrium Reflect again?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So I'm going to minimize the things that you have open. And let's see, here's Macrium Reflect. I'll maximize that. And then bring that back on screen. What I wanted to question or propose or discuss is this strategy that you have of doing full backup on the last Sunday of each month. Let's see, what am I thinking? Oh yeah, 2 a.m. on the last Sunday of every month. And you've got all this excess free space. You have all of these backups that are a month apart. Now, what is this? Now, in considering what the computer is used for, and I don't know yet, I'm not asking you to answer that right now. But let's suppose something happens and the computer crashes the day before the last Sunday of October. That means you're going to have to restore the backup from the last Sunday of the prior month, and you're going to lose like 4 weeks worth of content. Is that going to bother anybody? Is that going to upset anybody? Losing 4 weeks of content? I don't know.
That might annoy me. Yeah.
Yeah, some people that's going to be a problem. That's not going to be good news.
It might be. I don't know. But
Hey, Doug?
I only use it on the weekend.
You only use it on the weekends. Okay. Gary?
My answer is you guys are doing this. I kind of like, personally.
I don't think we might have that pizza because I've been on hold since I talked to you.
Okay.
What else do you want besides that? I can order from Genera.
Oh, there.
Personally,
quicker at that.
When I do an image on my personal computers, I like to do it when I say hands off, or I like to be dedicated, but that's neither. But if you're doing it online, or when Windows is up, why not do it every week, even at night?
Yeah,
I mean,
you've got the space, you have the software already installed. My thing is, why not do backups more often?
How often are you thinking?
hell, nightly and delete them once a month. You know.
Yeah, well, let's go play around with this a little bit. Now we're using the free version of Macrium Reflect, so you cannot do incremental backups. You can do differential backups, but even then, if you've got enough space and the backups are small enough, I've very commonly just done more frequent full backups, and I don't know what the computer is used for. On my computers, I want nightly backups, so I have them set up for differential and incremental backups. But let's come in here to, let's see what I want.
She does her banking, her email, and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll see if it's all online stuff. If all of her data is online, her banking is online, then the local backup isn't very important at all, except if the computer totally crashes and you want to restore an image. Well, perhaps going back 4 weeks ago is okay, because all the data that you care about is online. If her email is web-based email, or if it's even stored in Outlook locally on the computer, but it is, I'm forgetting the 4-letter acronym of the
IMAP?
IMAP. Thank you. It's IMAP, or it's Exchange email. It's all already online anyway. You don't lose anything.
You get her email from AOL.
It's online.
Okay, well, that's all retained online then. But let's suppose somebody is in a different situation than you are, or your aunt is. Maybe for your aunt, that's fine once a month. Now, this means that you have the ability to restore an image from 4 months ago. Is there ever a scenario where you might be wanting to do that? I think it's rather unlikely.
Data, maybe, but not image.
Yeah, not image. Well, data, maybe. Okay, so data, the reason why you might want to do that, if you had data stored on the computer and you realized 6 months down the road that you had accidentally deleted something, you hadn't noticed it for 6 months because it's something that you only do once every 6 months. Or even in the case of tax returns, let's suppose you stored your tax returns on the computer, and then next year when you go to do your tax returns, you discover that you had deleted your prior year's tax returns, and now you regret that because you want to go back and look at something there. So yeah, you might. Kind of unusual, but I have come across scenarios where we want to restore or grab a file from a very, very old backup. So that would be a reason to say, no, I like doing them once a month.
Are you considering every other month then?
No, I wouldn't be going every other month. I would think once a month is the minimum to do.
Max, or longest you would go between backups.
Yeah, but when I ask a person, if your computer were to crash now and we had to restore that previous backup, and then let's suppose something was wrong with that backup, we had to go back to the one before that, would that be a problem for you? Some people are going to say, yes, that'd be a disaster. Other people are going to say, not really. In this case, I'd say your aunt is, not really. That's not a problem. So I think we're probably not going to make a change, but I just wanted to discuss the subject so that somebody else setting up their own backup will think to ask themselves that. If your computer crashed the day before you were scheduled to do a routine backup and you had to go restore that last image backup that you have, would that be a problem for you? Some people it's going to be a major problem. Other people, not a big deal. So think of that when you're choosing how often you're going to do your backups. Don't pattern your backups after what somebody else does, because their uses of their computer is always different than your own uses. Might be similar, but it's different. No two people use their computer exactly the same.
You can do once a week.
Yeah, well, you could do weekly. You could do let's suppose we stay with monthly. I'll just cancel all that. We could add another scheduled item here and call it differential. And we could do a differential weekly, let's suppose on Mondays or whatever day you might choose. A differential backup, and let's see, your other time was what, 2 a.m.? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll stay consistent there. We'll say 2 a.m. Starting on let's see, today's Saturday. So why don't we say starting Saturday, so that you'll see a differential backup will run tonight, and you can look at it tomorrow or verify that it ran when you look tomorrow. So we just added another schedule here. So
Okay.
this full backup is 2 a.m. on the last Sunday of every month, and then a differential at 2 a.m. on every Saturday of every week. So that's going to be a smaller backup. For this computer, it's probably going to be pretty tiny. So you got loads of space, tons of space. So I'm inclined to at least do that as an extra item. So here we're looking at let's see, differential. We got weekly on Saturdays, but we want that to be, oh, that's saying the differential there. Oh, this is retention rules. Excuse me, I was looking at this incorrectly. So we got the full at 2 a.m. last Sunday, differential 2 a.m. every Saturday, and then retention rules. For full backups, we're keeping the last 12 full backups. So you're going to have a whole year worth of backups. So for instance, that scenario about saving tax return on the computer, it would still be there. Although, yeah, maybe you'd have to go 13 backups. Depends upon when you do the tax return and when you discover that it's missing. I'm guessing that she doesn't store tax returns on her own computer, but I don't know. 12 backups. Could we even keep 12 backups on this drive? Let's see. 32. Oh, yeah. So 32 times 10 would be 332,000. So, yeah, we could easily do 12.
Hey, Doug, when you say 2 a.m. Sunday, you actually mean Saturday after midnight, so Sunday morning, right?
Right.
Okay, just, I mean, we're on the page.
That's what?
I said, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I've had people long ago, I've had people at work long ago, yeah, we'll do it Sunday night. And it's like, no, you'll do it Saturday and, Sunday morning. So you have all day to recover it or some problem.
Yeah. So it looks like Rand picked up on my mistake here. Saying it's Saturday 2 a.m. for you guys is long gone by now, because that was this morning. So I said it would do this differential backup tonight, and that's not correct. So good catch there. So we'll edit that differential schedule, and instead of on Saturdays, that'll be on Sundays at 2 a.m. because that's what's going to occur tonight after midnight. Okay, so purging. Just to make the example of that, we can do 14 backups, so we can go back a little more than a year. And then the differential backups, how many of those do we want to keep? Those are going to be happening weekly. So if we keep 4 backups, that gets us back to the prior month's full backup. That sounds reasonable. If we were to keep More than that, then that means we could go back to a point a month and a half ago, for instance. You have plenty of space here. I'm going to go ahead and give you 8. And we don't get incremental. We don't get that. And it tells us here, let's see, incremental backup results. Premium features are not available. Macrium Reflect free. So we could start the trial, but no, we're not going to do that. I think the free version is just fine because you can do full backups and differential backups. Are you okay with those settings, Josh?
Yeah, I did pop. Do you want to do the backup more often?
Oh, okay. More often meaning what we now have selected?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right, great. Go to next. And then finish. All right, so that was the other thing that I wanted to get back to before we got away from this.
So the backup will happen. The backup will happen every Saturday, and then a full backup will happen at the end of the month.
Yeah, the last Sunday of the month, but actually not, technically speaking, not Saturdays for the differentials. The differentials will be Sunday morning, 2 a.m.
Okay. Cool.
And what I have observed, let's see, did we schedule those that those are occurring on the same time? Let's see, definition, there's the definition. Go back into edit it. And here, yeah, 2 a.m. the last Sunday of every month, 2 a.m. the last Sunday of every week. Does anybody see a problem with that? It's not a problem. My observation is that when a full backup and a differential are scheduled for the same time, the same day, the full will run, but the differential doesn't run. I think the software just picks up on that and doesn't try to do both of those at the same time.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
When did that start?
Say again?
When did that start?
That starts tonight, 2 a.m. Well, in the morning, 2 a.m. tonight. Sunday morning, as you'll see a differential.
Okay. It does on a level about Macrium, which I do not know, or I do not know the process of Macrium. How will that work if the monthly falls the same as incremental or differential?
Yeah, if the full backup falls at the same time and date as a scheduled differential, then the full backup will run, but the differential will not.
Okay. I know that.
Oh, there's another piece here worth mentioning on this schedule. We looked at the retention rules, but then down here, purge the oldest backup set if there's less than so many gigabytes on the target volume. Since we know that this takes, your backups take, what was it, 60 gigabytes? Yeah, there's 64 gigabytes on that one. So I'm thinking about, there's less than 90 gigabytes, then I want to purge the oldest backup. So that means if you get down to 13 months down the road and you're running out of drive space because maybe we've installed more programs, maybe there's more data on the drive and we don't have enough space for it. Well, we want to delete the oldest backup so that we can not run out of space while the backup is running. Then here's a run the purge before the backup. So before the backup actually runs, if there's less than 90 gigabytes, we want it to delete that so now it can run that backup and not run out of space. Finish that. So those settings are saved. Now, as we're highlighting this backup job, we can read all of that down here. The full backup at 2 a.m. on the last Sunday of every month, starting June 26, 2022. Differential 2 a.m. every Sunday of every week, starting on 10/8, which is today's date, but that schedule starts today, which is Saturday. The first time it's going to actually kick off is tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. Rules will be applied to all matching backup sets in the destination folder. Retain 14 full book backups. Linked incremental and differential backups will also be deleted. Retain 8 differential backups. Linked incremental backups will also be deleted. Well, there aren't any incremental backups because we're using the free version. Purge will run before the backup. Delete the oldest backup set when free space is less than 90 gigabytes. So read all of that there. Operation 1 of 4, that's the first partition on the drive. Then Operation 2 is an unformatted partition. Operation 3 is the C drive. Operation 4 is probably a recovery drive. All right.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
With Macrium Reflect, I just say MR. Is there a way to back up, set up as a nightly backup? Let's say the users / Josh directory.
Yes, but that requires the paid version, and that happens over here when you go create backups, and then here's create file and folder backup. So you click on that, and we get a message that premium features not available in Macrium Reflect free. So if you want to do a file backup, file or folder backup, you have to pay for it. Now, there's kind of a workaround about that, in that the image backups, we can mount those and browse through the file structure and copy and paste files directly from that mounted image to to your source drive. So it's in most cases that's an easy workaround. When does that not meet the need? Meaning, when do you need a file and folder backup in a situation where image backups are not feasible? Well, I think that would be if your image backups are too big. You don't maybe file folder backup, you want to keep them around longer, so you want to do a smaller space. I'm a little bit hard pressed to come up with an explanation. Go ahead.
Well, the reason I was saying that, I mean, on my level as opposed to Josh, but a lot of the things you do, even Josh, when I say even with games and whatnot, that he might make changes should be per the programming standards out there, should be made under the user's directory for him, for his name. Let's say he's using Fortnite, the settings go under the user's directory. So if you backed it up, if he made a change and, oh my gosh, what happened to my setup, you bring it back tomorrow and say, oh gosh, we're a week now, you may be in trouble.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And then with all, like on a personal level, like I think I've said before, I save all my stuff on another drive, and then it goes to the server routinely, even at home. So my user directory has very little in it. It's almost everything I point someplace else. That way it can be used, like even the dictionaries and whatnot for Office, I have them set up so I can use them other places.
So I suppose you might do a file and folder backup of your profile folder even to a thumb drive.
Yep.
It's not big enough for your entire C drive. So I think it's conceivable that a person might want to do that, but it'd be probably pretty specific circumstances.
And it would be definitely open, everything that's there. If Windows is up, a lot of stuff in there is going to be open. Outlook, Office, game, whatnot.
Yeah.
My users directory or folder is 5.5 gig on my C drive, which isn't much, but it's also open by half the system.
Well, I think I'm caught up with everything going on in chat. A lot of people chatting to each other, which is totally good. Haven't seen question marks for me too much.
I got a couple of things, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I mean, helpful things. And
All right.
there's been some questions about Windows 11 22H2.
All right.
One, as I've stated for over a year and a half, I'm not a fanboy, but I just like anything out there. It seems like more development gets thrown at the newer product. I mean, the 2022 and 3 cards are getting more development than the 21 cards and the 20s are. So Microsoft puts more work into probably 12 right now than they do to 10. You know, they're fixing errors with 10, but they're not doing any real, you know, they're not doing a lot of updates. Okay, a lot of the things that people are complaining about, one, I know personally over 50,000 seats at 2 different companies that have Windows 11 working. And with vertical software, with everything, there's no problems. Personal level, myself, I use remote desktop, have not had a problem. At work, we print, and I have not heard of a problem yet, or at least a problem that's, I'm not doing IT stuff, but I mean, I have not heard somebody say, we can't print emails. When somebody can't print emails, go to like everybody, you know that. It goes to the boss, blah, 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 you know how that is at companies. And the one that I have heard that Microsoft is officially acknowledged as copying of multi-gigabyte files through SMB. And SMB is actually, people think it's small business or something. It is not. It's a server blocks. And that's when you're doing it through Windows as opposed to, you know, like an Xcopy type of thing or a Rebel copy type of thing that, you know, it's server messaging blocks. So it's not through a copying, it's through messaging.
Yeah.
That's how Microsoft sees it, or, you know, Windows sees it. Other than that, I've seen no problem. I will tell everybody with Windows 11, if you do a clean install, which we got some new laptops on the personal level for our business and not work, and we did a complete install and replicated it because they're all the same laptop. Internet Explorer is no longer inside of Edge. When I say inside of Edge, if you go into Edge right now, even on your machine, it's Windows 11, it'll have things. Do you want to clear out, let's say, the Edge cache or the Internet Explorer cache? When you leave Internet Edge, what do you want to delete from, let's say, Internet Explorer? Also, it is no longer referenced inside of Internet Explorer. So if you're in Edge even today, right now, Windows 11 Edge, it still will ask you if some program calls or some website calls for Internet Explorer. Edge will ask you if you want to use Internet Explorer, even if you have an up-to-date system.
It still has Internet Explorer mode in Edge, doesn't it?
Cool.
With
Yes.
the fresh Windows 11, yeah.
Not H2 though, does not.
Oh, H2 does not have Internet Explorer mode in Edge?
And in a clean install, it does not pop up. No.
And it does not pop up. Is that
right?
That sounds like a qualification. Meaning, if it doesn't pop up, that implies that maybe you can still get to it somehow.
I don't need to, but I have had websites with the system. Okay, as an example, right now I went to a website, while we've been online, I went to a website. It said it was in the mode. It actually popped up, said you're going in Internet Explorer mode.
Yeah.
I have another computer that I went to the same website with, literally in the same office I'm sitting in right now in home, and it did not go to that. It tried to make it work in Edge, and it worked all right though.
All right, but there is a place in Edge to enable Internet Explorer mode. I don't think it's enabled by default.
It is not there in a clean install of H22, or excuse me, 22H2 is not there.
Okay, so that is of concern to me because I have a few clients that need Internet Explorer mode on a government website.
I understand, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, so if I go in here to Internet Explorer mode, let's see, browser, where is that? I think it's down way at the bottom.
Yep.
Let Internet Explorer open sites in Microsoft Edge. Yeah,
yep,
so
right there.
Here you'd have to, if you're set to never, then I would expect that it won't pop up for you when you go to a site that needs it.
That information is not there on a clean install.
This whole section's
from
not here.
Microsoft.
Oh, for 22H2. All right.
Yes. If you download and create a thumb drive, which is what we did, and put it on a wiped drive, start fresh, that information is not there.
All right. Well, I'll have an opportunity to test that when next time I get a new Windows 11 computer in here. I'll just make myself a fresh installation USB and do a fresh install to see that, because if that's the case, I'm going to need to, when those offices get their new Windows 11 computers, we're going to have to deal with that subject. If the HUD, it's a government website, HUD, I'm throwing them under the bus because they're way behind on this subject.
No, that is the correct statement what they're saying.
Yeah, they need internet export mode. Now, you mentioned something about going to the site and it worked okay. Well, if my clients go to the site without having internet explorer mode functional, it'll work okay. It'll work fine, except to certain places within it. When they go into a certain depth of information, that's where it's broken. Everything else works fine. And there's cases where some of the staff in their office don't ever go to those two locations within that website, and so they never experience the problem, but some people in the office do.
We have rental properties, which I've said in the past. With Section 8 housing, there's a place you have to go with that. I don't know if yours is Section 8 also, but that is where it has to have Internet Explorer. We do not do Section 8 any longer, but I know that for a fact. That's why I brought it up.
On the subject of websites and web browsers, I have an interesting thing in my bank, Union Bank, throwing them under the bus. If I go in, their site works fine for everything with the Chrome browser until I try to access statements. If I want to access statements, there's this drop-down list where I choose which account that I want, and that drop down will not drop down. And I try going to it with keyboard equivalents, and I cannot get to a place where I can choose which account I want. I have to go to Microsoft Edge in order to get statements from my bank. So the takeaway from that for anybody is, if some website isn't working right for you in a certain place, try a different browser. Had that many times.
We actually have software, notices at work, where it's a vertical software. It's a per seat per month. You would not believe the price, and you have to use Chrome. Google Chrome, not Chromium, Google Chrome.
Yeah.
And it's like, you are kidding. I mean, it won't work with Edge.
Yeah, I've come across things like that.
And there's one thing that we have tested at work. I went on as a person that's got to sign a lot of contracts. It's Smart App Control. And just the reason I'm bringing it up is because if anybody sees this, good or bad, they're going to turn it off. And once it's off, it can only be turned back on per tech at Microsoft speaking in person at a new install. Now, what this does is it keeps your programs from doing a lot of nasty things. It keeps you from installing programs that are not in the database. It's a whitelist. If you're not on a whitelist, you do not get installed and you do not run on the computer. That's great, but we have programmers that make modifications to our software per our instructions, which makes it a new software each time they compile it. So that's not good.
Yeah.
They say that by first quarter of next year, they'll have a way that we can SSL and do different certificates into our own, vet our own software as it was, but right now you cannot. And it is a godsend for companies once you get your software onto the list. But until then, I mean, it's great. Problem is, and then I wanted to just throw a couple of Gary things out there that I'll shut up for a while. A lot of people are complaining about a lot of things on Windows 11, and I know, Doug, you've mentioned the opposite of this. most of the people that at work, the people you deal with, the people I deal with in a personal work, they use Office or they use the vertical software. Once it's on the desktop or once they know how to get to it, it's not a question. I mean, they're not
No.
going 23 different menus trying to troubleshoot or sync time or, you know, reinstall an app or delete an app or uninstall an app. They don't do that. Matter of fact, most of our apps you can't even uninstall if you're a user at your desk. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people, that's the complaint with Windows 11 that most people have. Well, it's not a complaint. And actually, our tech people have done a lot of tests, and I think Windows 11 is faster in a lot of things, more secure in a lot of things. And then my last favorite, and this is it, people like to turn off secure boot or the TPM processor or lock-in and firmware. There's a problem. If you use a Microsoft account, that also turns that off. It turns off your PIN number, your hello PIN, which a lot of people use that sucker.
So if you turn off TPM, you can't use a PIN?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
And that's even in Windows 10. So I want to turn off TPM, so I won't go to Windows 11. You can't use Windows 10 with your PIN number.
Oh.
And, you know, all these people are doing that. But, I mean, you know, you and I on the esoteric level say, well, we don't like the Microsoft account, even if you use it. But if Microsoft is trying to actually keep you from killing yourself with Microsoft account, because there's so much open stuff that's trying to give you the idea of logging into a server at work. You know, a lot of users don't understand that because they, you know, they run willy-nilly, reinstall, delete, put 14 Office suites on their computer, then take 14 off. And if you ever go look and see who your docx, you know, is affiliated with in your registry, is it to Note? Is it to Word? Is it to WinWord? Is it to LibreOffice? Is it to OpenOffice? You know, you click on a docx document, who knows what will open up?
All right. I'm going to call time on you.
I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me hit a couple last things here, and then I think we're going to wind this down. BH Ringer, Windows 11 causes copying performance. So just giving a quick look at that. I've got that open. I'll go take a look at that after we're done. And then Wintermeat asking why I canceled the Framework laptop. I'm glad you asked that because I didn't cover that. The reason why I canceled the Framework laptop is I got to questioning myself, what am I going to use that for? The Microsoft Surface laptop that I have, I just pulled it out of my car yesterday to do Windows updates on it because I thought I might be using it at a client's location this afternoon. But I haven't used that in a long time, and next week is going to be my last time at the cabin. So the Framework laptop, the only routine use that I have for it in my near future is at the cabin. Well, they're going to close down the cabin for the winter, so it's not going to be open again until next spring. And I'm thinking, wow, if this Framework laptop just sits around unused until then, I'm gonna not be happy about the different processor choices or different components that I might be able to select if I wait to order it in the spring. I was just thinking it through, and that Framework laptop is going to come in, I'll set it up, and I'll shut it down, and it is going to be unused until the next season of the cabin. I have zero use for it, which when I thought that through surprised me because what's been happening since COVID, I go to my client's offices far less. I'm doing way more remote work. So I have all of my files here on my computers. When I go to my client's offices, the very little amount that I need to pull up from my OneNote or an Excel spreadsheet, I've been doing all that on my phone. I haven't even been bothering with firing up my Surface laptop. And it performs plenty well enough. That's not the reason why I wasn't starting it up. I simply don't need it. I don't even carry it around with me in my client. I used to get out of my car and always carry the laptop with me. And then I wound up rarely turning it on. So now I leave it in the car until I need it. It stays in my car. It's always with me at my client's offices on the rare occasion that I go to a client's office. But it's even more rare that I take it out of the car and actually use it. So I just thought, man, I like the concept of that framework laptop, but I don't have a use for it. And it's just not worth paying that much money to be able to make a video about setting it up. So yeah, I canceled it. Tried MS account with a pin on Windows 10. Now, there's something about the people that, in response to Gary's comment, the people that are so focused on local accounts, I don't think they ever got into pins, because the local account passwords is usually not as complex as a Microsoft password would be. I am liking the pins myself. Okay, so scanning through these a bit. Windows 11 worked from my unsupported desktop with 12 gigabytes of RAM, but didn't work that great on my laptop. It's supported with only 4 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, it's not going to work well. I'd probably postpone is more fair. I canceled the order. It's a canceled order, but I fully intend to reorder it at the moment. I fully intend to reorder it a couple months before the next cabin season. And if I sound a little qualified there, it is in the sense that if I don't come up with a better solution, and I don't think I'm going to. Now, one of the things about the cabin is that the framework laptop is not going to improve my ability to stream from the cabin, because the problem with streaming at the cabin is upload speed. It's not that HP all-in-one is not capable enough. I think it's plenty capable. In fact, I ought to try live streaming Fortnite again from the HP all-in-one from here, where I have good upload speed, because I think it'll perform just fine. I don't like transporting it up to the cabin. I'm okay with spending the amount of money for that framework laptop if it means I don't have to take that big all-in-one to the cabin. And I think it will mean that. That would be my reason for getting the framework laptop. Emma said to me it would not work. Okay, I'm gonna skip the conversations between people. You forgot about topic 2 next week. Was that the framework laptop, I think? You demonstrate. Oh, spinning drive. Now let's save that till next week. Yeah, we'll save this. The speed of my. I have a drive on the Big Beast build. The spinning drive responds quicker than the NVMe drive. So, yeah, let's do that next week. Let's see. Go on, catching up on chat. Do you have redirect for Ken's upcoming live stream and unboxing? No, I don't. I didn't know he had one upcoming. So let's go.
We do actually.
Let's go do that.
It's not till later in the month.
End of the month?
Later in the month.
Later in the month.
Yeah.
For Ken's unboxing?
My unboxing.
Oh, no, here's Ken's unboxing.
Okay.
All right, so Ken's got an unboxing. So that is scheduled for today. All right, so yeah, I've got that. I've got the fixes in. Thank you, BH. I've been told by a Microsoft Tech Development Manager that Windows 11 will work on non-supported hardware except for features that need TPM or advanced features. Makes sense? And Israel, when I tried it, it didn't even ask me if I wanted a PIN or to use my Microsoft account password. It just suggested that I create a PIN code. Another advantage of PIN code is that it's stored in a local machine, so you can log in using your Microsoft account even with no net activity. All right. That's conversation. Anyone realistically, how much RAM should you have to run Windows 11 decent? I'll call it 16 gigabytes. I don't want to do 8 gigabytes. And Gary's saying 32 or 64, but he's laughing at that. 4 to boot, 8 to work comfortably, 16 to 32 to game. That's fair. All right, Chris doesn't like Windows 11 for sure. All right, let's call this a wrap. Just looking to other options come 2025. All right. So in Zoom, I'll ask you to say goodbye.
Doug, my aunt said thank you very much.
You're welcome. She's welcome. All right, who's going to give me an audible goodbye?
Good night and goodbye.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Good day
Goodbye.
from Australia.
Josh,
Good.
enjoy your pizza.
Audible goodbye and thanks for the plug.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Ken. All right.
Josh, send that pizza to Georgia.
With that,
He asked you to send the pizza to Georgia. All right, I'm ending the Zoom meeting. Thank you for hanging with us. Adios.
bye-bye.
There's the email address if you want to reach out to me. I'm working on some ways to market the free remote session support to get more of that going. I'm disconnecting from Josh's aunt's computer over there. That'll do it. I hope that's been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.